Hey guys, Rick Stone here from Stony Acres Gardening. Welcome to my channel. Today we're actually going to be talking about seeds that you can actually still be planting out in your garden during the month of September. Now this video is intended for those of you that live in zones 5, 6, and 7. More importantly, it's intended for those of you that have at least 4 to 6 weeks before your first frost date. So there are still quite a few things that we can be planting. Now before we get started, please make sure you get subscribed to my channel. Click that notification bell so you get notice every time I release new videos. And go follow us over on Instagram as well. We'd love to have you join us there. Now I can't believe it's already September. I don't know where this summer went. We are in the thick of it right now. Our tomatoes are producing like crazy. We've got cucumbers running out of our ears, zucchini, squash all over the place. Just a lot of good, yummy things coming out of our garden right now. But that is all going to come to an end if we don't get some more things planted for our fall crops. And so if you haven't already gotten some fall crops planted, there is still time. And now is the time to do it. Your timing on this is, 6 weeks before your first frost date, if at all possible, which means for most of us in 5, 6, and 7, we need to hurry and get these plants in, okay? So the very first things that you can get planted in your garden still in September would be broccoli family plants. But plants, transplants, not seeds. So it's too late to try and grow broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, etc. from seed in your garden. Instead, you need to get a hold of some transplants, either from your local nursery or hopefully some that you have grown yourself. But we still have time to get those planted. In fact, September is a perfect time. The weather's starting to cool off and it's a good time to get those broccoli family plants in your garden. Next on the list are a huge number of leafy greens. So all of our cool season leafy greens are going to do really well planted in September. But again, you need to hurry. We need to get 4 to 6 weeks worth of growth on these plants before the frost comes. And so you need to get them planted now. And you can plant these by seed. So you can still seed these directly in the garden. So lettuce, spinach, kale, Mache, which is also sometimes called corn salad, Claytonia, Mizuna, Chard, Collards, Bok Choy, Endive, Arugula, Totsoi, which is another Chinese green. All of those leafy greens you can get planted as early as possible in September. Try and get them in as quick as you can, but you can still plant those by seed in your garden in September if you hurry, okay? One other thing that you can also try to grow is beet and turnips, but you're most likely going to be planting those for the tops, not for the roots, because we're getting a little bit late in the season now and you probably are not going to get good enough root development planting this late. Also radishes. You can plant radishes now. Perfect time for planting radishes as the weather starts to cool off. Those are going to do really well also. And you will get roots from radishes because they're so quick growing. So get all of those planted in your garden as quickly as possible. Now, where do you want to plant these? You want to plant keeping in mind the ability to protect them. So as the season starts to progress and we get closer and closer to winter, it's going to get colder and cooler, and those plants are going to need some protection, either from a hoop house or a cold frame. So if you're planting in a raised bed, plant somewhere where you're going to be able to put a hoop up and over them and cover them with some plastic and some fabric row covers later on. Or if you're out in your main garden and you've got a cold frame, plant in an area where you're going to be able to put that cold frame in, because these plants are going to need protection. When we start moving into October and early November, when they're really starting to mature, they're going to need that added protection from a cold frame or a hoop house. So, and I've included a link right up here to a video on how I use hoop houses in my garden, and so you can check that out as well. Now before I go, I wanted to take one last chance to talk to you about my fall and winter seed collection. Okay, so this is a fun little seed collection that I put together with Trueleaf Market, and it includes nearly all of the seeds that we talked about. So there's carrots, there's radishes, there's turnips, we've got all of the leafy greens that we mentioned in this video are all included in this package. So you've got 14 seeds. The cost is just a little bit under $17, and so it's a really super fantastic deal. And so I would encourage you to go check this out. So again, it's through Trueleaf Market, but it's the Stony Acres fall and winter seed collection. There's a link in the description of this video that you can click on to go buy these. 14 packages of seeds for right around $17 is a great deal. You got to take advantage of it. So click on that link down below. All right, this is probably my last planting guide video for the year, because by the time we move into October, the only thing we're going to be planting is garlic. And so we'll probably call it quits for the planting guides this year, and we'll pick those back up again in January when we start doing indoor seed starting. Thank you everybody for your support and your comments. Appreciate you. Make sure you get subscribed to the channel, and we will talk to you next week with another video. Happy gardening.